Pocong. In Indonesian folklore, becoming a pocong begins with death and burial, but sometimes the ritual meant to release the soul is forgotten or left incomplete. According to the legend, a body is wrapped tightly in a white burial shroud, tied at the head, the neck, and the feet, before being placed underground. Those three knots are not only part of tradition, they symbolize the final separation between the living world and the restless spirit of the dead. But if the knots are never untied after burial, people believe the soul remains trapped, unable to leave the body resting beneath the soil. With nowhere else to go, the spirit awakens again inside the grave, wrapped tightly, blind in darkness, still bound by the cloth of death. Eventually, the restless spirit rises from the grave, still trapped inside the burial shroud. It cannot walk, so it moves by hopping slowly. Witnesses often describe a pale figure silently jumping through empty roads, abandoned fields, or quiet village paths in the middle of the night. Its face is usually hidden within the folds of the cloth, but sometimes people claim to see hollow eyes staring from inside the shroud. Some believe the pocong wanders only for a short time, waiting for someone brave enough to untie the final knots of its burial shroud. Until that moment finally comes, the pocong continues hopping through the darkness, a chilling reminder of unfinished rituals and restless souls. Kuntilanak. In many Indonesian stories, the origin of a kuntilanak begins with tragedy. A woman who dies during pregnancy, childbirth, or deep heartbreak. People believe that when such sorrowful deaths occur, the spirit cannot accept its fate, and the soul returns to the world of the living. That wandering spirit slowly transforms into a kuntilanak, a ghostly woman dressed in white, with long black hair flowing down her pale face. In many legends, the spirit chooses places filled with silence, old trees, abandoned houses, and especially quiet villages after midnight. One sign people often mention is the strange laughter, a high, chilling sound that echoes through the darkness without revealing where it comes from. Some say the closer the laughter sounds, the farther the spirit actually is, playing with fear and confusion in the silent night. But when the laughter suddenly becomes quiet, many believe that means the kuntilanak is already very close, watching silently from the shadows. Witnesses often describe her floating slowly, her long hair covering most of her face, moving gently with the cold night wind. Some old beliefs say a nail placed in the top of her head can trap the spirit, forcing the kuntilanak to transform back into a normal woman. But if the nail is ever removed, the spirit awakens again, returning to the darkness, and the haunting laughter begins once more.
Tuyul. In Indonesian folklore, the story of a tuyul does not begin with death, but with human greed and dark rituals. Some people believe a tuyul is created through forbidden spiritual practices, rituals meant to summon a small spirit that obeys its human master. The spirit is said to appear as a small, childlike creature, bald-headed, pale-skinned, with glowing eyes that reflect the darkness around it. Unlike other ghosts, a tuyul does not wander freely. It is believed to live under the control of the person who summoned it. Its task is simple but disturbing, sneaking quietly into houses at night, searching for money that careless owners leave behind. Because of its tiny size, people say the creature can slip through narrow spaces, moving silently through walls, doors, and dark corners. Victims often notice something strange first: money disappearing slowly from drawers, wallets, or hidden places inside the house. Some old beliefs say tuyul behave like children, easily distracted by toys, marbles, or colorful objects placed deliberately to confuse them. Because of that belief, some families place toys near their money, hoping the tiny spirit becomes distracted and forgets its mission. Whether the legend is true or not, the story of the Tuyul remains a chilling reminder of how far greed can push people. Genderuwo. In Javanese folklore, the legend of a Genderuwo often begins with places filled with negative energy, abandoned houses, dense forests, and forgotten corners of villages. People say these dark places slowly attract unseen spirits, and among them, one of the most feared creatures begins to take shape. The creature becomes known as a Genderuwo, a massive humanoid spirit covered with thick dark hair and glowing, intimidating eyes. Unlike many wandering ghosts, this spirit is believed to prefer staying in one territory, guarding abandoned buildings, caves, or ancient trees. Witnesses often describe a sudden heaviness in the air, as if something enormous is silently watching from the darkness. Some stories claim the Genderuwo enjoys disturbing humans, creating strange sounds, moving objects, or whispering softly in empty rooms. In darker legends, the creature can even change its appearance, disguising itself as a human figure to confuse unsuspecting victims. People who claim to see it describe glowing red eyes and the overwhelming presence of a towering, hairy figure standing silently. Some believe the creature feeds on fear itself, growing stronger when people panic, scream, or run blindly into the darkness. Whether real or only legend, the story of the Genderuwo continues to haunt abandoned places where silence feels strangely alive.
Wewe Gombel. In Javanese folklore, the story of Wewe Gombel begins with a tragic woman, betrayed, abandoned, and filled with unbearable sorrow. According to the legend, the woman lived a painful life, mistreated by her husband, ignored by society, and slowly consumed by loneliness. One night, overwhelmed by despair and anger, the woman's life ended tragically, leaving behind a restless spirit filled with sorrow. That restless spirit slowly transformed into Wewe Gombel, a ghostly figure with long, messy hair and an unsettling appearance. Unlike many other spirits, Wewe Gombel is said to target neglected children, those who feel abandoned, unloved, or forgotten. Instead of harming them, the legend says she secretly takes the children away, hiding them in dark forests or quiet places. Some stories even claim the spirit cares for the children, feeding them and protecting them while they remain hidden from the world. The children usually return home later, confused, frightened, and unable to explain where they have been. Because of this legend, parents often warn their children to behave well and never wander alone after sunset. Whether frightening or misunderstood, the story of Wewe Gombel remains one of the most haunting and mysterious legends in Java. Banaspati. In Indonesian folklore, the legend of Banaspati often begins with ancient stories about dark spiritual practices and forbidden mystical knowledge. Some believe Banaspati is not an ordinary ghost, but a powerful spirit created through dangerous rituals and intense supernatural energy. Instead of appearing as a human figure, the spirit manifests differently, often described as a floating head surrounded by burning flames. Witnesses say the creature moves through the night sky silently, like a blazing fireball, gliding slowly between the trees. Some villagers claim they first notice a strange glow, a flickering light floating far away in the darkness. As the light grows brighter, the terrifying shape becomes clearer, revealing a flaming face drifting closer through the silent night. Many stories say Banaspati feeds on fear and anger, growing stronger whenever humans panic or show deep negative emotions. Because of its fiery form, the creature is often seen near forests, mountains, or remote places where few people travel at night.
Some believe the spirit can also serve dark practitioners, sent to frighten enemies or guard hidden mystical secrets. Whether real or only legend, the glowing fire in the darkness continues to remind people of the terrifying spirit called Banaspati.
Sundel Bolong. In Indonesian folklore, the legend of Sundel Bolong begins with a tragic story of betrayal, violence, and a woman whose life ended in pain. Many stories say she was once a beautiful woman, harmed by cruel people, and her life was taken before she could protect herself. After death, her restless spirit returned to the world, carrying anger, sorrow, and a haunting presence that frightened anyone who crossed her path. People later called this spirit Sundel Bolong, a ghostly woman wearing a long white dress with long black hair covering her face. At first glance, she may appear like an ordinary woman, standing quietly on lonely roads or near dark corners of villages. But the terrifying truth hides behind her back, a large hollow hole in her body that reveals the darkness within. Some witnesses say she moves silently through the night, appearing suddenly in empty streets or abandoned places. Others claim she can disappear without warning, leaving behind only a cold feeling and an eerie silence. Because of this legend, many people avoid traveling alone at night, especially through quiet roads and empty villages. Whether truth or folklore, the chilling image of Sundel Bolong continues haunting Indonesian ghost stories to this day. Kuyang. In the forests of Borneo, the legend of Kuyang begins with whispers about forbidden knowledge and dangerous mystical practices. People say the creature was once a human, someone who practiced dark rituals in search of eternal youth and supernatural power. Through these rituals, the person slowly transforms into something terrifying, a spirit capable of separating its head from the body. What remains floating in the night sky is the Kuyang, a human head with internal organs hanging beneath it. Witnesses say the creature flies silently through the darkness, glowing faintly as it drifts across forests and quiet villages. Many stories claim the spirit searches for one specific target, the blood of newborn babies and pregnant women. Because of this belief, families often guard their homes carefully, especially when a baby has just been born. Some traditions say certain smells can drive the creature away: strong herbs, burning wood, or protective charms. Others claim the Kuyang hides its body somewhere safe, leaving the head free to hunt during the night. Even today, the eerie image of the flying head still haunts stories across Borneo, keeping the legend of the Kuyang alive. Babi Ngepet. In Indonesian folklore, the legend of Babi Ngepet begins with human greed and dark mystical practices performed in secrecy. The word babi in Indonesian simply means a pig, an animal known for its strong body, short legs, and powerful sense of smell. However, the legend of Babi Ngepet is very different. It describes a human who magically transforms into a pig through forbidden rituals. According to the stories, the transformation is performed to gain wealth by secretly stealing money from houses at night. During the ritual, another person must guard a candle nearby because the flame represents the life of the transformed person. If the candle suddenly flickers or goes out, people believe the transformation may fail or the person may never return. In the village stories, the magical pig moves quietly through neighborhoods, entering homes and stealing money without being noticed. Victims often realize something strange only later, when their savings slowly disappear without any clear explanation. Because of this legend, villagers sometimes patrol together at night, searching for unusual animals wandering through the darkness.
Whether myth or warning, the story of Babi Nyepet remains a reminder of how greed can lead people into dangerous paths. Leyak. In Balinese folklore, the legend of Leyak begins with ancient stories about powerful practitioners of forbidden black magic. These practitioners are believed to study dark spiritual knowledge, rituals meant to control supernatural forces beyond ordinary human understanding. Through dangerous rituals, the practitioner slowly transforms into something terrifying, a supernatural being known as the Leyak. Unlike ordinary ghosts, the Leyak is said to separate its head from its body, flying through the night in search of victims. Witnesses describe a terrifying floating head with sharp fangs, glowing eyes, and a long tongue stretching into the darkness. The creature is believed to search for human blood, especially targeting newborn babies or vulnerable people during the night. During the daytime, the Leyak is said to hide among ordinary people, appearing as a normal human within the community. But when night falls, the terrifying transformation begins again, releasing the flying head back into the darkness. In Balinese belief, spiritual protectors and sacred rituals are used to defend communities against these dangerous supernatural beings. Even today, the mysterious legend of the Leyak continues to live within the spiritual traditions and folklore of Bali.